So we're going to continue on with our tough times week. I'm going to talk a little bit about financial trouble today. And I put up, hope is not a financial plan. There is nothing more stressful than having money problems. I know, because I've been there way more often than I'd like to admit. Now, I've actually spent nights up crying because I didn't know how I was going to pay my bills. Now, most of my trouble came from little credit card trouble I'd gotten myself into early in life. Looking back now, it really wasn't anything major. It felt it at the time. It was really just a couple of department store cards like Macy's and Strawbridge's and Victoria's Secret. Remember Strawbridge's? Oh, I loved Strawbridge's. It was a Philadelphia-based department store, kind of along the same lines as Macy's, but they've been out of business for years now. But at the time, I felt like I would never get out of debt, and my life was ruined. Now, I actually did ruin my credit for some time because I just didn't pay these bills for a couple of months because I would rather have gone out to watch my favorite band and hang out with my friends than pay my bills. And, it's funny because the minimum payment was probably like $25 or something. That's the one thing with credit cards. Always pay at least the minimum payment on time. If you want to send a little more, make a second payment. But always get that first minimum payment at the very least in on time, or else you're going to find yourself in some big trouble. So like I said, I did ruin my credit for some time when I was young, but now I am a proud owner of a 700 plus credit score. So no, if things do kind of go out of control, you can repair your credit. It will take some time though. Now, this early lesson in life is probably what led me to living a pretty frugal lifestyle. All right. I'll admit it. It made me cheap. Now, my husband and I are bargain shoppers for the most part. Sometimes we splurge on things, but day-to-day life is pretty low-key. We don't buy coffee on our way to work. We make it at home, take it with us. We never buy lunch out. We take that with us as well. Now, before we go grocery shopping, we sit down with the sales flyer from that week and look for what's on sale. If one of our regular items is full price that week, we see if we can stretch it for another week to see if a sale comes up. If we can't stretch it, then, we got to take the hit, get it anyway. But we are chronic stocker-uppers, and sometimes I think we save in the long run, but I think that our weekly shopping trip is probably a little more than if we just made a list and stuck to it. But this is why sometimes we can stretch when we need something because, say, Joe likes these particular pretzels. When they're on a really good sale, we'll get 3 bags of them. So we have a couple on hand. So we also go with a list. Like I said, don't stray from the list. This is how you spend more money than you should. And I do that way more than Joe does. And we usually go grocery shopping together. For a time there, he went by himself. And now I go with him. And I told him we end up spending way more money when I go because I'm like, the marketing always works on me. I'm like, oh, look at this package, and oh, this looks so good, and let me just throw this in here. Yeah, I'm bad at that. I'm trying to get better. But if you are in a spot where you can't really make your monthly bills, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. You need to cut out spending somewhere, or you need to bring in more money. Can you get a second job? Ask for a raise? Work more hours? Start a side hustle? There are really all kinds of things you can do to bring in a little more income. You just have to put some thought into what you have to offer people that you can charge for. You don't have to go out and get an actual real second job. Maybe you can help people write resumes or tutor some kids in school or mow people's lawns or do laundry for them, something. Put a little thought into it. But the most important thing is to curtail your spending. Do you eat out often? Then you know how expensive it is. As much as Joe and I are shocked every week at how big our grocery bill is, I'm like, how do we spend this much money? It's still usually cheaper than one dinner out. Now, we don't go out to eat very often. I just think it's too much money. And when we do, I don't mind splurging on a really nice restaurant because we don't do it very often. Especially because we live in a resort area, and the prices around here at restaurants are just outrageous. I mean, completely outrageous. So start making your coffee at home. Make your lunch at home. Do your nails yourself. I almost always do my own fingernails. I do like to get my toes done. I like to get the professional pedicure. But when I'm talking about my fingernails, I have pretty good nails overall. And I just let them grow. And I usually just get a manicure or I just get some polish on them. So I know it's really easy for me to just do it myself. I know a lot of you ladies are getting gel manicure, some type of artificial nails that need upkeep. Well, if you're short on cash, can you sacrifice your nails for maybe just a few months till you get back on track? This is when you need to make some tough decisions. And yes, you will have to give up some of your favorite things for a while. Nobody wants to spend their free time working another job or giving up some of your favorite things. But alleviating the stress of financial strain is so worth it. Trust me. Now, Joe and I could always use a little bit more of a cushion. But we're not in a horrible position right now. We are also trying to make up for some lost time and are contributing to 401k plans. And that's another thing I wanted to bring up. Are you middle-aged, approaching middle-aged? You need to get that retirement plan in order if you haven't already. I used to work with a guy who was in his 50s, had no 401k, no retirement plan, and just was like, yeah, I know I got to get going on it, but okay, you're supposed to retire in less than 15 years. How much money do you think you can accumulate? I mean, you've got to get on this, people. It's important. I would tell the young people listening to start saving for retirement now, but I was told that and never did it. But it is so important. The earlier you start, the better, obviously. And we all talk about money being evil and all that kind of stuff, but it's usually when we're without it that we think that and make those statements. I don't think money's evil. I think money's awesome. I want all I can get. Gimme, 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 gimme. So sometimes we have to make the hard choices and do things we don't want to do and or do without things we love in order to make our financial statements match up. It's really up to you, but there is a whole lot of peace of mind knowing you can pay all your bills. That is my words of wisdom for today. It is I Wish It Were Cocktail Friday, Thursday. I did put some new pictures on my website. Thank you for all of the suggestions. I appreciate it. And there are 2 new ones up on the Hopefulist page, at hopefulist.com. One of me at the microphone and then one of my whole family soaking up the sunset on a boat. One of my favorite things to do. Tomorrow on the Hopefulist, we are going to party. It is my 50th episode. I am so excited. I've got lots of fun things planned and in store, and I hope it's going to be so fun and entertaining for you to listen to because I am super excited. It's time to party. It's time to celebrate 50 whole episodes of me. What more could you ask for? Now go make it your best day yet.
Thank you for listening to The Hopefulist, hosted by Wendy McClure. For more inspiration, please visit hopefulist.com. Thanks, and we'll see you tomorrow on The Hopefulist.